is happening, peeps? Welcome back to another game dev stream. Alright, so we got some cool news last night. We found out that the great state of Utah is going to allow us to do business in this great state. So yeah, so we got our business license all set up last night, and we officially have a new name. So instead of doing what we did yesterday, instead of continuing on with the game content for Chunk, we're gonna go ahead and make a splash screen today for the new website. What's up, Thomas? Welcome to the channel. We're doing some game dev right now, and we are doing a little artwork today. Got the Photoshop open, and we're ready to go. I've already got a new file set up here. I got this super high def. Let's see, the dimensions of this is 1920 by 1080. We'll go ahead and make it nice and big to start off with. That way, if I need to shrink it down later, I can, no problem. We'll probably make this in a few different sizes. I'm gonna want some smaller stuff for if we're using handheld devices, and we're gonna want you know, a couple different resolutions, a couple different sizes. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So I've already got a real good idea of how I want this to look. I don't know exactly what font I'm going to use yet, so that's probably something that we're going to figure out here right away. I'm possibly going to use two different fonts. So we're going to go ahead and grab a new layer. We're going to change this color to white to start off with, just to have nice contrast. And let's start looking at some fonts. This is one I like right here. Let's see how this looks. Let's make this big eye. Okay, so that's okay, but I kind of don't like the curves of that G. So we are going to look at some other ones. So we're going to go ahead and go through some of the ones I got here. We'll see what we got. I'm looking for block. Looking for something blocky, but something clean. I want to do like some glows on the inside, so I want nice and thick. Nice and thick. All caps would be nice too. I suppose I could always just type this in all caps. Yeah, that'll help. Now we get some all caps. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm selecting the text I just wrote. I click in the font window up here, and now I can hit the up and down arrow keys to kind of scroll through each font. This is a real good way to do it, because you can see exactly what it's going to look like in the size. Pretty convenient. Instead of having to scroll slowly through with your mouse, you can just tap-a-roo on the keyboard here. So all my fonts, all these fonts look the same. Where's the good stuff? Come on. Okay, that's actually pretty close. That's kind of the look I want, but I really want it to be thicker. This is already bold. So it's the regular. Okay, let's look at these through regular. Let's keep going. That one's called Century Gothic Bold. We can come back to that if I can't find anything else. I'm having a great morning this morning. I got my tamed beasts down for their nap. Got a little bit of chores done. Got Nice little breakfast. Gotta see my bros off to work. Had a nice little meeting this morning with one of them. That's pretty solid. That one is I'm not sure how to say that. It's crazy how just a slight few pixels different can make for an entirely different look. Alright, let's see if we can get this bigger so we can kind of see what's going on. That might be the one right there. Gadoogie. Gadoogie. That's Gadoogie Bold. In case you didn't know. But obviously, I mean, everyone should know. Like, obviously, this is way different than all the other ones we just looked at. Gadoogie, we're going to keep that one in mind, because that may be the one. That one's not bad. That in is so sharp. No. The G, the R's and the E's, I mean, most of them look pretty good. It's the G. You gotta get the G right. The N's gotta not look bad. But that G's so important. It's kind of such a weird letter. It's really curvy. And there's a lot of different ways of doing it, so I'm being a little picky here, yes. I know. That's kinda cool. So these are just the fonts I've got on my computer right now, and that's not a whole lot. I've only added a few past what the default Windows fonts are. I've used that one before. That's not a bad font, but not exactly what I'm looking for here. That, I like everything except for the G on that. That is old. Okay, that's Old Republic. That's the one we started with. I know this is kind of boring. This is one of the most boring parts of game development right here. Font selection. I hate it. Takes forever. That's cool. Gangsta. I like that one, but I don't want the scratches on it. Alright. So, I got some exciting stuff going on. I really like the Sofa Chrome, but I don't think we're gonna do it with this one. But I might do it with one of the other bits of text. Let's do the studios. Make sure you spell that right. Photoshop does not have a spell checker, so it's real easy to spell stuff wrong. Okay, that looks pretty good for now. Let's go ahead and say that one's good. And we're back to font selection. I don't want this window up. Just click right there. There we go. Okay, we got some real plain looking fonts here. Super lame. That one's not that bad. It looks too much like the other font though. I need it to look a little different. Oh man, am I hitting the wrong button? Yep, I am. Gotta hit the right button. You don't need to be scrolling back and forth. Alright, I probably should have picked these out before I started the video, but you know what? Hey, this is part of game development. Sometimes, I mean, this is an important part of game development. Like, your game could be completely awesome, like the best game out there, and you could use this whack font for your title screen. People see it and they're like, oh, that looks like crap. Speaking of that, we need to get this all caps. That's better. So I'm looking for something kind of thick, and I'm going to push the letters together, and we're going to grow them up. No, we're not going to use wingdings. That would be a fun idea, but you want people to be able to read it, right? You want people to be able to understand what they're about to see. It may be the one right there. Let's blow that up. Let's get that big. I want that to be pretty good size, but we want them pushed together. So to push these letters together, we need to come over here to paragraph styles, I believe. Okay. There we go. Character styles. Okay, this guy right here versus VA. Boom. That's what I'm looking for right there. We just need a little gap. Boom. Maybe a little bit more of a gap. I want to do a stroke on these. So we're going to need a little bit of gap to get that stroke. That's not what I want to do. Control Z. Bring that back. Okay, let's hit that on that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, the next word is going to be heat. These guys are a little close here. Let's push those apart. Not bad. Okay, that's gonna look good. So the word hit is gonna be different color than the word green, so they'll stand out from each other. But I want them to be pretty much just like this. Same size, same font. Now let's see. We're gonna get this guy here. Let's look at the layer style on this. Let me adjust here a little bit. Is that annoying having that on there? Too bad. Alright, so when you want to get back to in the edit the text, you could double click on the layer window, and what that'll do is it will get it into the edit mode for that text, which is what we want. Oh, what am I doing here? Okay. Widen this out a little bit because I want this to be about the same width. We can get some guides in here for this. This is a good habit to get into. Oh my goodness. Bring that back. Why are my guides not working? Are they locked? Unknown. So we can still use this to guide. We're a little bit far on this side, as you can see. So we want to shrink this down just a touch. That's probably pretty dang close. Let's do it one little more. Yeah. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm still not sold on the font for this one. But right now I'm liking it a little bit. I kind of want it to be a little thinner. But let's work with this for now, and we may change it up. All right, back to layers. Green. Okay, so I keep doing that. Rookie mistakes. So I'm going to make a selection of that green. So I'm going to leave these as vectorized. I don't want to change them yet because I might need to come back and edit it some more. So it's a good idea to just keep this like this, and if you want to do stuff to that layer, you can always make a copy of it, which is what I've done here. And okay, so shift drag that. Let's make two copies. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here. This top copy, we are gonna do a layer style. We're gonna pull out this bevel and emboss. This is a good thing. A lot of graphic designers don't use this very often, but it really makes the letters pop out nice. So I just put it on the very basic. Haven't changed anything. And okay, oh, that's the problem. My little thing's over here. Okay, so I come around and like to mess with these and see which of these bevels kind of looks the best. Sometimes they look really bad and they need work, but sometimes they look good. So this one, I'm thinking the smooth is going to be the best. Yeah. Change that size a little bit. That's probably pretty good. What's the soften do? No, we don't want that. We want a little more edge on it. I like looking at these different ones, kind of make sure the one I'm using is kind of the one I want. I think that is probably the best one. We don't want it to be super deep. That's pretty good. Just give a little more life to these letters, right? Give them a little depth. Make them pop a little. Okay, so it's pretty good. Let's have a look at the stroke now. Before we do the stroke, however, we need to get our glow on. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these for now, because I want to see this glow in all its glory. This is an important step because you want to be able to, you need to be able to see your stroke on there. We're going to do that stroke next. So we just want a little bit of glow here. Let's see what 4 looks like. Well, not too much. Let me get rid of it and get rid of it. You can kind of see it's just adding a little bit of glow to the edges here. Let's leave that for now. It's decent. Actually, here's what I'm going to do this. I'm going to undo that glow. Unglowed it. And I'm going to make a copy of that in case we need to do some more. So let's redo that glow. Control F. Yeah, I think that's looking alright. And what if we do this one? Let's make a copy of that in case we need it. And this one will do more of a blur. Do 8. So that what that's kind of done is it's tapered our glow a little bit. It's the further it gets away from the letters, the lighter it gets. So it kind of really makes it look like the light is coming from these letters, which looks pretty cool if done properly. So let's hope we can do it properly. Okay, now I want to go back to the level styles of the word green, and I want to play with some strokes here. Stroke color black. Okay, so now you can see this adds a lot of contrast to the letters. It really makes them clean, legible, and it looks really nice. A lot of times I like to mess around with this a little bit. This is a 2. See what a 1 looks like. 1 is pretty dang thin. What's a 3 look like? 3 doesn't look bad, actually. We might be using 3 here. Let's see, what does 4 look like? 4 is good, but maybe a little strong. 2, 3, 4. What's 5 look like? 5 is, yeah, 5 too strong. I'm going to go with 4 right now. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so important step. Now we want, we're going to add the coloring to the word green. And I like to do that like this. First, let's go ahead and select that. We're going to come down here and pick a real nice shade of green. Kind of a little bit darker. Now we're going to do the same thing, but our second green color is going to be darker. So you can probably already tell what I'm doing here. I am making gradients. I do love gradients. I use them a lot. And I won't apologize for that. Alright, so we make sure you get it over there. Oh, look at that. This is already looking gorgeous. Drop that selection. Boom, that thing pops nicely. But what I notice now is our glow. The glow's too strong in some areas. That can be problematic. A lot of times what I would do in this case is I would take another look at my glows and see if we really want to do it. Do we really want to do a glow? Maybe we don't. What if we try this? What if we make a selection there, we drop a new layer below, we fill this sucker with white. Alt D should do that. No, Control D. Oops, actually I forgot one step. Very important. Control Alt Z. Undo that a couple times. We want to grow this bad boy. No, that is not what we want to do. We want to modify, expand. There we go. So let's see. We did 4 on the last one. Let's do 4 again. And now let's drop that white in there. We'll see how that looks. Oh yeah, now we're really popping. I like this better than the glow already. That's looking gorgeous. So there's a few more things we can do with this green. The layer style I think is looking pretty good. here's how I get my colors back. Now remember, we probably lost some color because this is kind of the middle of our gradient. So when we re-gradient, it's a good thing to remember. But I really just like to get here so I have a starting point. And we're going to do that brighter. Actually, I probably need to bring some white into that. This one we're going to do much darker. Okay, so instead of doing the two colors, and I'm going to do the single color. And I'm going to put just a little bit on the bottom. Oh. Undo that. Okay, we're going to put a layer on top of everything. And we're just going to add a little bit more shadow down here at the bottom. Just kind of a little bit more richer color. Give it a little bit more change from the top color. Let's see if we can do this on the top. Same thing. Oh yeah, brighten that sucker up. So there's a little extra color on that layer. This one, let's see if we can add a little black and white. So this, what I'd like to do for this is, I want a little bit of like a glow on this bad boy. Not a glow, a shine, right? Like it's made of glass, and there's light that's shining off of it. So to do that, what I like to do is we modify the selection again, but this time we're going to contract it, make it smaller. Let's go ahead and drop that. Let's go ahead and do it 4. We've been doing 4 before, and 4's worked pretty good for this size. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so we're just going to take the top part of this. Is there any color on there? No. Okay, it's blink layer. And we're just going to put a little bit of glow like that. Drop that selection so you take a look at that. The selection I think probably needs to be a little smaller. Let's try that again. Control-Alt-Z to undo a couple times. Let's shrink this sucker down a little more. Select, modify, contract. Let's do it another 2. And let's drop that white gradient on there again. That's a little... See, that might be a little too much. So here's one thing you can do too, right? Like, you throw this on and you're like, oh, it's too much white. You want to blend a little more green in. If you watched yesterday's show, you would know that there's an easy way to do that. You just drop the opacity down on that top layer. And what that will do is it will let the green shine through a little better. Get a little more length on my thing there. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay. So we're going to go real wide up top, and we're going to come about halfway down. Okay, there we go. Control G to drop the selection and give the sucker some opacity. It looks pretty good, but it does wash out our green color. So maybe this isn't the best idea for this lettering, because I kind of think it looks better without it. Sometimes it does. You know, a lot of this is experimenting. You know, you have an idea that you think is going to look good, and then once you get it out there and it doesn't look good, sometimes you just got to say, hey, it doesn't look good. Scrap the idea. So I think that's what we're going to do with this one, because I really like how this green looks on here. I think it looks gorgeous. So what we might do... So let's work on the hit a little bit now. So this hit... The word hit... Okay, here's another good idea to do too. Select all these layers and group them. That way we know that that's the green, the word green, and we can take that off or put it back on, and it's going to look good. Okay, so hit is what we're working on next. Let's alt drag that sucker, and let's see if we can put this, drag that layers to it. Oops. You have to alt drag the layer style. Layer style is what that's called. And it totally looks whack. Let's see why. Part of it is we need to make a white layer here. So let's do this again. We're going to select, modify, expand 4. Okay, so that was the original stroke. We needed to go 4 more. Should have been 8. How come nobody told me? Don't go 4, go 8. But it's alright. We can just do another 4, and that will add up to 8. Expand 4. Okay. So this, we want a new control. Click on the new button. We'll make a new layer below the current layer. Nice little handy shortcut. If you know you want your layer to be below instead of above, you just hit that control button. There it is. Alright, so Alt Delete will fill that with the white we want. And as we can see, this is not quite looking right. Let's all do that and see what is wrong. Okay, I think we got too much. 4 may have been right. 4 may have been right. So let's undo that, grow, there we go. Go ahead, and we still need to make the layer again. Control, click. Fill that thing with an Alt-D, drop the selection, and there. Oh, that looks so much better. Now, see, now it matches. Now, I kind of like the white on the hit. I'm liking everything so far, except I think we probably need to change the font for the studios. I think it's a little too big, a little too fat. Yeah, I think I want something with a little bit less profile. So let's go ahead and we will group together the hits like so. It's always good to label it. I never do that, so I'm never good. Oh, we already got these grouped up. Okay, perfect. So now studios. Okay, let's look at some more fonts. Let's find something that is a little bit slimmer. Slimmer is what I'm going for. I want it kind of sci-fi looking. Oh, I really wish there needs to be a way. I don't know why Windows does this, but it puts all of these foreign fonts in there, and the foreign fonts don't even show up on the thing. Like, they come in looking like regular fonts. Let me show you, for example. You try all these things that say they're foreign. You select it, and it ends up coming through just as standard. Like the computer can't handle it. It's like, oh, this is an American computer. We don't understand that. That's probably not what it's saying, but that's what I like to envision it saying. Okay, so we want this to be all caps, I think. And actually, that is not a bad font. I was kind of wanting something a little more sci-fi looking, but this is actually really clean. Let's see what happens when we stretch this sucker out to cover the whole thing. Character. Get that S about right to the end. That's pretty good. I think it's alright if it's a little bit short. Alright, so the V key will get you back into move, and then you can move these around. See, this is still a little too tall. We could possibly shrink it. That actually is kind of more what I'm looking for. Whoopsie, that's not right. Uh-oh. We broke it. Oh man, we did break it. Where's my layers at? There's a problem. So maybe, how's it look if we put a little line under here? The line's a little bright. It kind of takes away from it, I think. Let's see if we can make that smaller. Okay, that does look better. This isn't too bad. So, I didn't want this line to be too small, right? So what I did to grow it is I just I copied the layer, and then with the move tool I just moved one of the layers over, and so basically I have two layers of that white line on top of each other, and I'm just moving one of them to change the width of it. Piece of cake. That looks pretty good. I wonder how centered this boom. This one needs to come over just a touch. So get this top one, arrow over a couple times. Look at that, perfect. This move tool is so convenient, right? Like, this is a good tip for people. When you want to be pixel precise, you use the move key and use the arrows. Once you get the move tool on, you select the layer. If you're using the auto select up here, that will, whichever layer you click on, it's gonna move that layer. So that causes problems sometimes. Sometimes you don't want it to move a layer and it's moving it anyways. If that's the case, take that auto select off. You can select the layer over here in the layer menu, and that will help you in moving the layer you want to move. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this so far. I got an idea though. For now, let's ditch these. Let's see what happens if we put a bar down here. When you're using this box selection tool, if you, the place where you started off is not quite right, you can hold down space and then move it. Right there. Okay. So let's make a new layer. Let's drop this below the studios. And let's see what color we want this to be. Okay, if we try white. Oops. So that's how that looks. I'm not sure I like it. It kind of looks like if you have one of those label makers and you just type some stuff out and put it on with the label maker. That's kind of what it looks like. Not sure that is exactly what I want. So we're going to try some stuff here. Let's move this up a little bit. Let's see if we can unshrink ours. Control T. We're going to stretch these letters down a little. That's not going to work. Alright, you gotta have them selected. So layers, double click. Oh, okay, that's the problem. This is an empty text layer. That's the problem. Alright, let's redo this part. I got another idea as well. Let's see how this works here. I typically don't do text vertically. Ooh, okay, I got a real good idea. I think this is going to look gorgeous. Shrink you down, sucker. Shrink you way down. I always have this fear of misspelling words. So I always end up doing a little Google search to see if I'm spelling it wrong. I always want to put an E in there. I don't think that's right. Yeah, I think it's spelled right. Alright, let's see if we can change this font up a little bit again. Oh balls. Ah. That's not too bad, but it's a little big for the size I want. Here we are again, looking at fonts. The bane of my existence. Oh no, there's lots of worse things I could be doing right now. I could be at the DMV. I'd much rather look at fonts. Alright, let's see how that looks. Say yes to you. Now here's my idea. Snap you vertical like that. This is gonna sit right here. Ah! Well, I can't shrink you down like that. it's too much. Too much. Not enough. Too much. Alright, let's see what these other layer styles look like on here. Pretty whack. It's too small. Oh, actually, it doesn't have the white background layer on it, so it looks... It's a problem. Let's do that. Select, grow. What? No. Expand. Let's do it by 2. Let's do a new layer underneath here. Fill that sucker with white. No. No, it's too small. But what if it's green? That's kind of hard to read. I don't like it when it's too hard to read. It needs to be easy to read. Okay. So I think that was a good enough font. I think it's just a fail idea. Whoops. Get rid of that. We don't need that. What are you doing? Got another idea. And you're like, but the last idea was whack. And I'm like, no, this one will be good, dude. Don't worry. And you're like, sure, whatever, man. And I'm like, it's cool, dude. No problem, watch. Oops. this is gonna be dope. Watch this. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, dig. Okay. Undo. Contract to. Yes. Okay. It's not too bad. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't be moving that around. Alright, where's my white layer? It is this one. Let's make a copy of you. Three's pretty decent. Combine those, drop the opacity down just a bit. I just want a little glow off those. Alright, so let's see what we have so far. I'm going to make a new layer on top, and I'm going to do the Control Shift Alt E. What that does is it made every viewable pixel on the screen, condensed it all into one layer, but kept all of the old layers, right? Because we may need to go back and make adjustments later. But it's good to have a single layer you can manipulate. So let's see, if I hit Alt and click on the layer visibility, it will make everything invisible except for this layer. Let's bring the black back in. Now we can move this around like this. So this is kind of what I was thinking. This, I think, will look sharp. So we get the I want it to be about the same distance from the bottom as it is to the right. Oh man, I think that looks sharp. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to render this off and see what it looks like. I'm pretty happy with this. I think the S is sticking out a little bit on the bottom part of this. So here's how we can fix this. Let's hide that for now. Let's bring everything back in all its glory. Not everything. That's whack. We're deleting that. those. Okay, now we got all of these. Let's move those, line those up a little better. Yeah, okay, yeah, much better. Okay, that's gonna have to do. That's not gonna work. Cancel. Decisions. Okay, all that stuff's good. We don't want to mess with any of that. Let's see if we take this glow away and we turn this into this guy. We did some layer effects and we put a stroke on there that was white. It's too big. That is fixable. Let's change that to 2. How's that look? Actually, that's looking pretty solid. Do I want to add that glow back? Ooh, you know what? If we change this to an inner stroke. Yeah, that looks horrible. Let's change that to an outer stroke. Oh, much better. And let's put some effects on here and see how that looks. Add new layer. Just drop a white gradient on that sucker. Oh, that looks kind of nice. Whoopsie. Kind of hard to read. What happens if we mess with this stroke some more? Little noise. Just taking a look at all these overlays and whatnot, seeing if any of these look good. Kind of like this. What if we made the stroke smaller? One. Ooh. I don't know. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Makes these letters look kind of glass-like. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that so far. Let's see what it looks like in position now. Okay, once again, we are going to... Let's put these side by side. Control Shift Alt E. Bring the black back in. Yeah, I think I like it better. I think that may be our splash screen right there. Alright, well, I appreciate you hanging out and watching today. Hope you learned something. Wasn't the most exciting stream, but, you know, hey, we're getting work done. Company's coming along nicely. We're getting a lot of cool content. The YouTube channel is coming along nicely. The games are coming along. We're going to be getting ready for releasing 2 games really soon. Stay tuned and watch more of this, and you'll be getting some sneak peeks at what we got coming. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun little day so far. I'm pretty happy with what we got here. This is basically pretty close to exactly what I had envisioned. And I think it's going to do the trick. It's clean, it's simple, it gets the message across, and I think we're going to go with this. So stay tuned for more. I'll be doing some gaming later today. We'll do some live stream. Hopefully we can find something fun to do, and we'll see you then. So I'll be on again tomorrow. We'll be doing more of this, and have a good night. Peace out, peeps. We'll see you later.